Hello everyone, this is Kaylee, and you're listening to the second episode of the Warrior Painters podcast. This time I interviewed Angela Song, who is my partner for life and also the founder of Warrior Painters. Angela shared her plein-air painting journey, her vision for the group, and talked about how the plein-air skills apply to her day job as an artist in animation. Hello Angela, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's weird. We live together and you asked me this.
Okay, you were the one that asked me first.
All right, today I have some questions for you to talk about your plein-air experience.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure everyone's super excited to learn how you started Warrior Painters. But before we get into that, I want to hear about your plein-air experience as a kid. How did you first learn about traditional painting?
Well, I think since I was in the era probably in between traditional art and digital art being really popular, I think that was like early 2000s. Well, I mean, I'm not that old, but basically, I think I was lucky that I had the in-between section of it because I think right now most kids are leaning more towards digital from what I see. I don't know if that's true. But I had the exposure to both due to the time I was young. So I learned about it like early on, actually.
How young are we talking about?
Like 16. I didn't know about like plein air painting, but I knew about like oil painting and stuff like that.
Okay, but your first traditional painting will be earlier than 16, like.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's like kindergarten because you use watercolor when you're in preschool or kindergarten, yeah.
Oh yeah, did those make you like this type of traditional painting?
No, I think I was always more of a drawer compared to a painter. I actually was really scared of painting. I was really bad at painting, so I focused more on drawing up until like I was 24. And then I started to really get into painting a lot more.
What happened?
I realized that although drawing is a very important skill set, and I think it's the best thing to learn first, I feel like paintings get you noticed a lot more. I know that if I wanted to continue to be employed, it would be important to know how to do this. And if you have versatility, you could switch over from a job to another and you won't be stuck in one position.
I appreciate your honesty.
But it turns out that I like painting more than drawing now. Sometimes you might feel like you like something when you're younger, but I think that's what's fun about being human, right? Because you think you like one thing, like you think you might like guys, but you ended up liking girls. Awkward silence.
Why did you forget my question? So you mentioned that you find out about plein-air painting at the age of 16.
No, that was oil painting, but I found out about plein air painting when I was in art center. I think it was when I was in art center, but I took a CDA class with Jackson Say, and Jackson is a really great teacher, and I'm still thankful that I got to learn from him till this day. He was the one that introduced me and like the classmates, or I mean, at least me, to plein air painting, and then I just realized how hard it was to paint outside, how like you have to make quick decision making, and just the process of painting outdoors is really different than painting indoors in a comfortable situation. Before that, I was just at home working on my art center assignment, which is just like concept art pieces and redesigning like old stories like Peter Pan.
Do you remember what you painted for your first plein-air painting?
I don't remember the first one because it must have been really ugly, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it really sucked. So I have bad memory. I don't even know what I ate for breakfast.
So for that whole class, did you guys go out to paint often then?
Yeah, and what's cool about Los Angeles is that most of the times it's sunny, but you occasionally get like a cloudy day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did that class get you hooked on plein-air painting?
No, but I think I realized the importance of it. Actually, at first I didn't, but I always thought it was cooler to learn more about traditional without really knowing why. But the more I got into it, I started to realize the benefits of painting traditionally first.
When did you start painting more consistently? Plein-air or just traditional painting in general?
It was probably after when we got back from Shanghai, which was 2016.
And that's the time Warrior Painters was founded.
Warrior Painters, the concept was started like early on. Remember how we used to go out and nobody showed up? It was just me, you, and the dogs. No, it was like okay. So I did start trying to get people out as early as 2011, but I think it's probably because we were really young and we wanted to go clubbing and stuff. So we wanted to party, so we couldn't keep it a consistent thing. But when we got back from Shanghai, I think I was really determined to just paint every week because there were some days when we were in Shanghai where the air was so bad and we would be forced to stay at home. And then it just made me realize how much I took that for granted.
That's why you wanted to paint more when we first moved back from Shanghai. I remember that.
Yeah, I just wanted to see the places that I never appreciated in Los Angeles, I guess. And then it didn't matter if people would join us or not. But we're really lucky that people like Michelle and Vaughn showed up consistently. And then we formed a really great partnership with Michelle.
How did you come up with the name Warrior Painters?
So I was thinking that we're like those people that like to work out, the weekend warriors. I think that was just a phrase. And then I was like, oh, how suitable for us because we work Monday through Friday, yet we go out to paint and find time to do it. So I was like, if we named ourselves like Warrior Painters, I think it's really suitable.
Yeah, and I remember at that time we call it Weekend Warrior Painters because we wanted to just go out during the weekend.
Yeah.
But right now,
the pandemic, we paint every day.
But yeah, later on, I think Warrior Painters is more suitable.
Yeah.
Because we actually have other events going on during the week as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's your goal for Warrior Painters?
Well, I hope that we can create a network around the world and eventually we'll have like a sponsorship from either like Airbnb or an airline company who can sponsor like a group of 6 people to explore certain areas so we could paint the beauty of it. And also I want the group to be able to go to different national parks within America to showcase the beauty of nature. Because I also feel like with technology being so readily available, it's really difficult for people to want to go out to see things. But when you're at the location, like every sunset feels different, every morning feels different. And I just want people to not forget about those sensations. Yeah.
Why specifically 6 people?
Well, I'm just saying, if they can sponsor more, that'd be great. But I feel like 6 people is also more easier to manage. So
okay. Yeah. And we're also talking about having a convention maybe. That'd be nice too.
Yeah, I feel like when people think about like plein air painting, they always think like, oh, I have to do that when I'm like retired and I have a lot of money. But I want people to understand that plein air painting is something that people should do no matter how old they are and what their financial status is, because it's just nice to go out, get some vitamin D and paint and talk to friends. And if we can do a convention to bring people together, boost people's confidence to showcase their artwork, to promote that type of positive reinforcement, because I know a lot of people are really shy about showing artwork. I think we're doing a really good thing because that's one of the biggest things artists have to overcome, is to show their work and not be self-conscious about it.
How do you think plein air painting make you appreciate nature more?
Well, I think when you're over there observing how nature groups shapes, how nature designs shapes, how they illuminate space, and how you feel something when you're looking at it. There's just something really magical about nature and how you're connected to it at the moment, because you're trying to replicate that moment in time, and then that moment in time is not going to look the same any other day. Even though you feel like it's repeating, it's just really unique.
Virtual plein air is popular right now.
Yeah.
So how do you think about that?
Well, I think there's a lot of really talented virtual plein air painters, but they probably have a lot of experience doing real life painting. The problem with digital monitors is that first, when cameras capture the image, they overexpose it, or it's too dark. They get rid of a lot of colors. So that's the first issue. The second issue is that a lot of monitors are not calibrated, so you don't know if your colors that you're seeing is true. And when you're outdoors mixing paint, I feel like you get the understanding of how to create color harmonies. which is really difficult to achieve with digital painting, but it's not impossible. But the process of mixing paints, like you put this type of yellow with this type of blue, it creates this type of green. It's like a very interesting process to mix your colors and see how they fit within the same puzzle.
So virtual plein air meaning just digital painting then?
Yeah, I mean, like, how else would you do it?
Oh, I thought like that means you paint based on a photo reference.
Oh, well, the ones online, yeah, some people use traditional, but a majority use digital. But it's the same problem, right? Because you're looking at the photo where it's already been edited through a camera lens. So it's really difficult to like see the true colors and everything.
How do you think plein air painting skills help you with your daytime job in the entertainment industry?
So I find that the more I paint, especially traditionally and through like real life painting, um, it really helps me because, like I said, it helps me create natural color harmonies that maybe sometimes artists might lack. I still have a lot of room and improvement that I need to grow, but I feel like because I plein air painted so much, we're on like what session 190 right now.
We're on 200 something too.
Oh shoot, okay.
260.
So we're on like 200 something. And just imagine like each time if you go, you'll at least have 200 something paintings. So that's 200 times of experience of mixing color on the spot, making quick decisions within like an hour. So I think it helped me learn how to group my shapes better, learn to organize stuff, and using color to describe atmosphere and using color naturally. I feel like all these things give you like quick judgments on how to do things. Especially when you're working in TV animation, you get a painting and they're like, I want it to look like noon, or like, I want it to look like overcast. So you have something to pull from your visual library, and then you'll remember the steps you took. You're like, okay, for this one, I did this, this, and that. And because you had to quickly determine what to do, you can easily apply it to your image as well. Because TV animation is so fast paced, you really need that quick decision making sometimes. And it might not be the best painting, but you need to meet your deadline. So I feel like this plein air really helped me with that.
When you mix colors in Photoshop, it's quite different from what you do in plein air. How does that help?
Yes, so basically when I'm mixing colors on Photoshop, I just think about the different spectrum of colors. So you know how there's like a cool color for each one and there's a warm color for each one. I would think about how I mix my gouache painting and pick my colors accordingly to that, because you have such a huge range of colors on your scale. Like I know immediately where to click onto. It just really educates you, and it teaches you also to be patient with yourself, because you're also going to have really bad days that are, it's really difficult for you to paint. It helps me grow artistically, mentally, and then I also get to hang out with friends, so it helps me adapt to my social, like social needs as well.
So right now, how often do you get to practice plein air painting?
Well, because of the quarantine, not much, but I feel like I'm at a point where I could look at a photo and know where to add colors and know where to take out color. I'm more at the point where I'm finding my own artistic style in terms of color and shapes. I think once this quarantine is done, it'll be the perfect time for me to go out again and see how my shape language, my color style translate to how I paint outdoors. So it's been a while, but I think I needed that break.
Yeah, but before the quarantine, how often did you do it?
Well, I used to lunch paint with my friends at DreamWorks, so it was like almost an everyday thing.
And also the weekend paint sessions outdoors, right?
Yeah, so it was pretty frequent. I like this quote that I heard from my figure drawing teachers when I was 16. He basically said that it's called life drawing because you have to practice it your whole life. I feel like this is like applied to every single thing you want to do in art. You can't just feel like you're good at something and just stay consistent the whole time and you plateaued. I feel like you have to keep being curious, keep trying different things to become that artist that you finally want to become. I also like warrior painters because I feel like everybody is so different. even though some people might not think they're really good, everybody's art like teaches me something new, because I feel like there's always something successful about each painting. So when I see that, like, I'm really inspired. So I guess this group is kind of like for a selfish reason. I feel like I constantly need inspiration because I'm so easily burnt out. But working with all of these people really inspire me. I just want them to feel like they're welcomed and then they're never intimidated. That's what I care about the most. And if we can inspire them, I'm really happy.
Okay, we have some easy questions here. What is your favorite subject to paint recently?
Mosaic.
Why is that?
It's so hard. I don't know how to group them, and it makes me feel like I just started learning painting again. They're colorful, and I just think it requires a lot of patience and planning, which I feel like I didn't have before.
Okay. What's your favorite painting medium?
I don't know, it switches. I feel like I have the oil itch right now, but I hate oils, so I don't know.
What do you usually use?
Well, gouache, because it's not toxic and it's easy to clean.
What about watercolor?
That one's so hard. B Zhao actually gave me a watercolor set. I'm so scared to open it, but I think once I am on a break again, I'll try it out.
How do you keep yourself motivated?
I feel like for me, I'm a very planned person, as you know, right? So I feel like if I set some deadlines for myself, I'll have to achieve it. So it's not necessarily about motivation, it's about planning for me. Because if I don't reach my plan and finish my plan for the day, I get really stressed out. I'd rather be on schedule than to be lazy because it stresses me out. So I weigh which one's worse for me.
You are very disciplined.
I don't know if it's discipline, it's just because I'm afraid of stress.
Do you want to share like your daily schedule, like your practice schedule?
So I work from 9 to 6. Then I work out a little bit. Then I eat dinner, and I usually finish around 8:30. I hang out on Discord for a bit, and I sketch figures. And then after that, I paint until like around 11 or 12. So,
Why do you do sketch?
like I said, drawing is actually the most important thing for anything. When you're drawing, you're thinking about form, you're thinking about space, you're thinking about perspective. So it's very important that I don't forget that.
What are some of the plein air artists you look up to?
I'm really going through an old school phase right now. So I recently found Henry Martin, Sargent, of course, Sorolla, Monet. Yeah, there's a lot. There's too many to name.
Any living artists you admire?
Recently, there's like this French artist that I really like, Joe Corsia. Corsia, right? His work is really awesome because it's like watercolor, and I don't know how he does it, but Joel, I'm a really big fan, and I'm gonna own one of your paintings one day. Of course, I really like Lena Rivo. Oh my gosh, she's my idol. There's Zoe Franks. There's a lot of people, but I'm also really happy that we did Plein-air this year. And even though the quarantine was really bad, I hated it, but we met so many awesome international artists. Just seeing like a female artist like Lena kill Plein-air this year, like I wanted to give up so many times, but because of her and like so many other artists that were doing it, like I felt like I couldn't give up. So I'm really happy that so many people participated this time, and then we saw a lot of really awesome female artists. And I think that's really inspiring, and we need more of that.
For those of you who don't know about Pleinair Pro, it's a challenge we started in 2016 or 2017.
17.
Yeah. It's basically a challenge for you to paint every day in the month of April. So, and this year we got a lot of submissions, and we were really excited about it.
Yeah, the submissions were really awesome.
What are some of the tips you could offer to people who are just starting plein-air painting?
So I'm a very emotional person, and I don't want to get into like, oh, to get better, you have to hold your brush like this and be like that. I feel like for art, it's always more of a mental game. You have to, like, even though you're not where you want to be, and you always talk shit to yourself, it's just important to know that you'll only get better as long as you keep trying. So try to fight your depression And I know how hard it gets sometimes, but like, just don't give up on yourself. Everything in life is a mental game if you want to get good at it. So keep training your brain to push through these depression spells. Yeah.
Are there any classes, like books, you recommend people to look at?
I feel like if you see an artist that you like and they're offering a class, just go take it. It's always really important to try to understand how someone thinks, and maybe your stuff will look like theirs a little bit in the beginning, but the more you practice, your own style will come through. So just be patient with yourself with that too.
What do you like the most about the Warrior Painters group?
Well, it gets really hard to consistently go out to paint. Sometimes I even miss the paint sessions, right? But what's really cool about Warrior Painters is we have so many nice people that are willing to donate their time to help out everyone. So I'll give you an example. I don't know anybody who would go out, drive to Alhambra from Burbank on their lunch break to go set up a gallery show. Yet people like Larry, Michelle, Luz, Steve, they all went during their lunchtime to help set up the gallery show that we had at Nucleus. It's something that's really hard too, because we had close to 200 paintings last time, right? We had to manually organize it and stuff. And after we were done, everybody was so thankful and so happy that I think it really boosted the morale up. So what I'm trying to say is we have artists of different levels and everybody's just so humble and helpful. So I think that's what I like the most about Warrior Painters. It's like that community. We're willing to help each other out.
And when we were talking about the goal for Warrior Painters, I think we forgot to mention we want to have more gallery shows.
Yes. Yeah.
Hopefully we can do international shows.
Oh, don't worry, we will.
All right, thanks so much, Angela.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks to all the people that come to Warrior Painters and people like you who do so much. I don't know if you guys realize this, but Kaylee always does the behind the scenes work that nobody wants to do,
Aww.
organizing all the paintings, setting up all the events, reaching out to our sponsors. So even though we're a big group, everybody has a contributing mark to it. And I think let's just keep going and let's just keep getting better together.
People are just good at different stuff. So I'm happy to support and offer any help I could.
Yeah.
All right,
Cool.
Thanks. That's it for today.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you have any suggestions, please leave your comments on whichever platform you're listening with. And if you like this podcast and other events we organize, please consider donating to us on Gumroad. You'll find a link in the description. Thank you and hope to see you again soon.